Okay, I'd now like to introduce two members of Queer Strike, UK, US, two for the price of one, Nairne and Didi Rossi. Queer Strike was founded formally as Wages Due Lesbians in 1975, and they're an organization within the Global Women's Strike. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. Just to get back to Janai, when I think of Canada now, I know there's been a change of government recently to the left wing, which is great. I think instead of the 2004 occupation of Haiti with France and the US. So Canada's reputation before then has gone down. I just wanted to really briefly say something about Queer Strike, who we are, and then why we are defending Chelsea Manning, you know, someone who has been a fantastic whistleblower, who has inspired many other whistleblowers. Queer Strike, and Laurie will then be going on to tell you of a fantastic organizing they did in San Francisco with a big victory. We are a multiracial, lesbian, bi, trans, queer women's group campaigning for economic, legal, and human rights in all countries and against discrimination. We are anti-capitalist. Chandra, we are with you. Anti-capitalist. We are against the prison military-industrial complex that people have spoken against, has been torturing and keeping people in solitary for years and getting people to work for free for companies. We want the $1 trillion US, yes, $1 trillion US spent on the military worldwide, more than half by the US government, invested instead in what we all need in every country: food security, water, housing, freedom of movement, and of course, payment for caring work for mothers and all other carers. It is only when we as women have the money in our hands that we can decide on the daily survival choices that we need to make for ourselves and our families, whether it's sex work, whether it's being in queer relationships, whether it's being in whatever situation we are in. And we want to really highlight Chelsea Manning as a caring, someone who has cared and has exposed the truth, saving many, many thousands of lives. Formerly Chelsea Manning, for people who don't know, was formerly Bradley Manning, a US soldier who exposed the US, UK government's war crimes, murder, rape and other torture in Iraq, Afghanistan, and US government violence and corruption against the people of Haiti, Venezuela, Peru, and many other places. She, by exposing these secrets, government secrets, really, which is what the government should have been telling us all along. It is our right to know when we are voting and making decisions that we had a right to know these things, that she has been put in prison for 35 years. She has defended us, and we, along with Payday Men's Group, which are here today and have helped organize this conference, we have been campaigning as part of an international to free her, taking action in different countries to keep highlighting her. You know, there has been a lot of censorship against her. She's come out as a trans woman, and we think that's part of the reason there has been censorship against her. And we have a responsibility, those of us on the outside, like Chandra and others have said, have a responsibility to the people inside who are leading the ways a lot of the times, and who have been left behind. We cannot forget them. Okay, the US government put her inside for 35 years because they are trying to make an example to her and other whistleblowers. Like, you know, Edward Snowden said he was encouraged by her to blow the whistle and come out and expose the US government. She has also come out from prison in defense of young black men who have been murdered by the police in the US. We also have really been trying to raise her at Pride. We had a whistleblowers contingent with All African Women's Group, with Compassion in Care, who have exposed abuse against elderly. And we have really challenged, what is Pride about? Laurie's going to go into this more. You know, we want to highlight homelessness of queer youth, stop and search of queer people of color, benefit cuts, 0-hour contracts, asylum seekers, violence against trans people. You know, we don't want Pride to be this corporate march led by banks as it is in the UK, where fascist racist groups are allowed to march. And one thing, as I said, Laurie's going to talk more now, but I want to say also that we have here, for the first time that I have been in this country many years, originally from Italy, and it's the first time I've heard the UK military threaten a coup in this country if the left wing of the opposition gets in power. And we heard that, and they're trying to terrorize us and frighten, because the movement here is growing. The queer movement, the straight movement, all of us are coming together in a way that hasn't happened for a long time. And so we will have to, as queer people, show that we are against this repression and come out, and really fight together with straight people and everyone. Over to Laurie for the fantastic victory in San Francisco.
Okay, thanks, Didi, for that statement. I wanted to talk about our fight with the San Francisco Pride Board, but first I wanted to say that in 1983, lesbian mothers had our first fight with the Pride Board, and when we demanded a contingent and a cable car so our children could ride in the parade. So now, San Francisco Pride is an NGO. It's a nonprofit organization. It has a $1.3 billion budget. Oh, yes. They make money from the banks and from the corporations. So the fight about Chelsea Manning was really crucial.
That's why a class fight. Yes.
It was a class struggle, exactly. So what happened was that there was a vote in 2013 that Chelsea Manning would be honored as a Grand Marshal. Within days, the conservative pro-military Pride Board issued a press statement and basically said, quote, "Chelsea's act of courage put our troops in harm's way, and that would not be tolerated by the leadership of San Francisco Pride." So the queers in San Francisco exploded in rage. There was a series of protests and a coalition formed called the Grand Marshal, not the Court Martial Coalition. We demanded that the city look at Pride and all of the corruption that has been going on within that organization. There was national and international media, and the outcome was that the biggest grassroots contingent that ever happened at Pride historically was a Chelsea Manning contingent. And a flash mob jumped over the front of the march, laid in the street, waved Chelsea Manning signs and protested and stopped the march, which, by the way, 1 million people participate in and 1 million people watch. So, whoopsie. At the end of the march, when the contingent arrived at the festival, we found out that the military recruiters had a booth at Pride, which never has happened before in the history of Pride. So that contingent just proceeded right on, circled around the military booth, and drove them away. Hey! And even after all that, the San Francisco Pride Board never acknowledged their wrongdoing. And so we organized a slate that was pro-Manning supporters, pro-Chelsea supporters, had an election and kicked the conservatives off the board of Pride. So, and after that, that board voted to ban the military recruiters from the festival. Okay, I'm gonna make it. Ban the military recruiters and voted Chelsea Manning be the Grand Marshal in 2014. So, just to sum up, sorry, I jumped a page. Where did my left page go? Ah, there it is. So we expected that what we expect is that LGBTQ people who are in positions of power be accountable to us, and this was a demonstration of what happens when you're not. So many queers, as Didi has said, are pressing for Pride to take action against the crisis issues we're facing. I won't repeat what she said. And in relationship to Chelsea Manning, she is appealing her court case. We are supporting her against the torture she suffered in prison and the transphobia which she now suffers. And for her right to have the health care that she wants. And for more information about everything that Queer Strike is up to, please contact us.